Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. So today we decided to answer a couple of travel questions.
We want to make this eventually into a whole travel channel with a little bit of everyday lifestyle stuff going in. And we can't really do that right now with everything going on. So we figured this is one of the best ways to really introduce ourselves and show who we are or what we want to be doing.
Some are detail oriented, others are just very quick, but we'll try our best. So, first question. What's your favorite place so far?
Well, the favorite place that I've traveled to so far would have to be Tulum, Mexico. I really love Tulum. It was a beautiful area of Mexico. It felt really safe. Everyone was so friendly. And there always seemed like there was something to do, someone to talk to. And I just loved it. And it was just so magical and tropical.
I have to say, it's our honeymoon. Bali, Indonesia. I feel like it's extremely self-explanatory. The food, the culture, the people, everybody there, they're just so friendly. Everything is just so beautiful and very spiritual. You just felt like the connection and the love and the energy. It was absolutely stunning. So I will say Bali.
What place is top of your bucket list?
I would say Zanzibar. What I've researched so far and looked into, it's stunning. I want to go everywhere, but Zanzibar is up top.
Number one?
Yeah.
My number one would probably be Japan. I'm really big into technology, and I feel like Japan, South Korea, those countries are kind of like the main place to go if you're really into tech.
What can't you travel without?
For me, I can't travel without my camera.
Oh, just kidding. Not me.
I love having my camera with me just to either record or to take photos, and I really like capturing memories.
I was gonna say something kind of stupid.
What?
It's not so much stupid, but to me, it's a necessity. Chapstick. I have such dry lips, and it depends where we are, but I remember when we were in Bali, we were at like peak dry season, so I just needed to like moisturize my face extra. So I would say moisturizer or any moisturizer for my lips.
So what has been the most interesting item of food you've tasted?
That's so hard, because I'm pretty limited. If anyone's new to the channel, I am plant-based. Have been for almost 5 years.
Same.
Not at all, no. So I will say the coolest thing ever was when we were in Switzerland, we found a vegan/vegetarian buffet, and that was the coolest thing ever. We do not have any buffets, plant-based buffets. We were in like a shopping center right in Zurich, and it was so cool. I was like, I found my heaven. I'm like, okay, I could die here. I'm fine. And the food was fantastic. It was so good. It wasn't the strangest thing, but it was the coolest thing.
I mean, there's not really anything interesting I've had though on any vacation. I feel like
We're boring eaters.
It's more that we're cautious eaters. I feel like.
Which country makes the best tea/coffee?
I will say Bali for tea because we did go to a tea shop and I had a bunch of different teas that were really, really good. For coffee, I would say Hawaii. I tried the coffee there, tasted really good. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really drink coffee in many places or tea in many places. We just got lucky when we were in Bali.
I can't really answer the question because I don't drink either or.
What's been your scariest moment?
When I was in Iceland. So my sister and I went to Iceland back in January 2018. Nobody prepared us for those winds and that weather condition. On the way back to deliver our rental car, we had a complete whiteout. It's a one-lane road and you can't see anything in front of you or behind you. It was hands down the scariest experience of my life. What is with this hail though? What is happening? We were holding on for dear life and I was kind of the eyes for my sister while she was driving, but we were going so slow, but at the same time, we didn't want to go too slow or else we would cause an accident. And at one point, the road kind of divoted onto our side and there was just kind of a ditch. So if anything were to happen, if we couldn't see or if we got hit, we would have just went right into that ditch and I don't know what would have happened. But honestly, that was the scariest experience of my life.
So I kind of have one. It's not really for me. It's more my sister. When we were in Utah with my dad, we went to the Sundance National Park and we were hiking the mountain. You have to like one foot in front of the other on this narrow edge and it's slanted. If you were to fall, it's slanting down. My sister's kind of clumsy and she almost slipped off and my dad actually had to go and grab her and catch her and pull her back up. So if she's watching this, she's clumsy. So
the next question is, what have you brought that you've never used?
Item-wise, I usually will try to use everything I bring. I try to travel somewhat light. I do bring a lot of equipment with me, but I don't bring more than I need to.
Same here. I pretty much use everything that I pack with me, but what I've been getting better at is trying to pack less makeup. I'm trying to just be like more natural and spend less time, I guess, getting ready and more time exploring, I guess. So, but I relatively use everything.
So what has been the most useful item you've brought with you on a vacation?
I would say the most useful item that I've brought was definitely my hydro flask, just because it's very environmentally friendly, and normally when you go somewhere there's water stations and it's just easy to bring with you, and just so you don't have to spend money. It's very cost effective. And it keeps everything either hot or cold for 12 plus hours. It's amazing.
So my most useful thing I'd say is my laptop, just because if we do record things, I can throw them onto the laptop right away and kind of clear up the space on the memory card. You know, usually they have free Wi-Fi in a lot of hotels.
What's the best piece of travel advice that you received?
So I feel like no one really gives me any travel advice because I don't really have friends that travel. Maybe to not drink the water in certain places or something like that. Like, I don't know, like...
So the best piece of travel advice that I've received was to pack accordingly to different weather conditions. I get cold very easily, so I have to make sure I bring a sweater or a rain jacket or an extra pair of shoes, because I've definitely have done that before where I haven't brought any of those and I suffer and I'm very upset. And also to just go with your gut feeling. If you are in a situation where it just doesn't feel safe, or you're just having a very eerie or irky feeling, it's okay to say no, or to kind of have like a different plan in mind or route. If you have this feeling, 9 out of the 10 times, it's right.
So what's the worst piece of travel advice you've ever received?
It's not so much the worst piece of travel advice that I've ever received, it's just negativity from other people when you tell them where you want to go and they're just like, oh, but I've heard that it's dangerous, or why would you want to go there? And then you kind of ask them like, oh, like, have you ever been there before? And they're like, no, I've just heard from other people. I don't know, it just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and they don't really know until they go. And again, it's different for everybody. It's all about people's experiences and, you know, the time of year they went, or just people could just be having a bad day. You never know what's going on in people's lives. So what about you, sir?
Yeah, same. I mean, there's not much more for me to say. I mean, again, because we don't have people that really travel, so I feel like there's not many people that actually gave good advice, and the only ones that gave bad advice were the ones that never really traveled.
What's your dream job?
I have multiple dream jobs, I guess. Something where I could travel and still work, so whether that's making a YouTube channel like this that becomes successful. If I'm looking at something that's going to be more just remote in one location, I'd love to do animation. That'd be a dream job of mine, but I know that's not possible if we wanted to travel, so there's a lot of differences going in on that.
My dream job would most likely be a digital nomad to capture our travels and hopefully inspire other travelers as well, and just creating beautiful content. So, where would you most likely want to live in the world?
I would probably want to live in a European country like Germany. I really loved Germany when I was there. I think everyone was really friendly. I think that it's a good place to find jobs. There's a lot of people that speak English, and it just seems like a really welcoming place.
My place, like the traveling aside and how far it is, probably Indonesia, just because of how, like I said, how welcoming everybody was there. The beauty, the culture, just everything I connected with on like a very deep and spiritual level when I was there. And I would like to live there at least for a couple of months.
How many countries have you visited?
He hasn't gone to Iceland, but I've done Iceland. We have done Germany, Italy, Switzerland, France, Austria, Liechtenstein, and Indonesia.
And Mexico. So 9 for me as well. I haven't been to Iceland, but when I was younger, I went to Canada with my family, so still 9 for me too.
What's your favorite childhood travel memory?
So I'd say mine probably is Disney. Disney is one of my favorite places that I go to all the time. Growing up, that was kind of our main place that we'd go, at least till I was about 10 years old. We'd do Disney almost every single year.
around me are familiar faces, worn out.
My first trip was when I was 21.
You stupid.
Sorry, that was terrible.
How are you documenting your trips?
We are taking photos and videos of everything. And making travel vlogs as well as travel diaries.
Like Patty said, videos, photos, we have our camera, we have a GoPro for underwater, and we have a drone for the sky.
So the sea. On it, in it, or on dry land?
For me, dry land. I mean, I'm not really a water person to begin with, so dry land for me. What about you?
In it, for sure, and on dry land as well. So a little bit of both. I'm a mermaid. I'm also a Cancer, so my tears are my ocean.
What has surprised you about yourself?
Just getting over my fear of flying in general, because that's really what kept me back from traveling, was just being scared shitless of flying. I feel like on every trip that we go on, I try to get out of my comfort zone.
I mean, I guess this kind of correlates with traveling, but I guess I surprised myself that I'm decent with the video editing. You know, I kind of been learning a lot more as we've been at home. If I'm sticking to it, I'm doing okay with it.
What is your top travel tip?
If you keep on getting stung by jellyfish, get out of the water. I really don't have any tips for anybody. So, I mean, like, when we were in Indonesia, we kept on getting stung. We were doing scuba diving, and every little area we went to, we kept on getting stung by jellyfish.
I guess it's kind of the answer that I said before, just pack accordingly. You know, sometimes you go to these places where it's 90 degrees during the day, and then it can drop to 50 degrees at night. So bring a sweater, bring a raincoat, bring an extra pair of shoes.
If you wrote a novel, what would it be about?
I don't know. I feel like that's such an odd question to be put into traveling questions, but hey, why not? About our travels. About our experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly.
I'd write about a cautionary tale about a little boy who kept on getting stung by jellyfish and wouldn't get out of the water. I really don't like the water. That's why I said land.
So, while traveling, how many items have you lost?
Nothing. I don't think I've ever lost anything.
Just a pair of shoes because I was really stupid. When my sister and I were in Hawaii, we went hiking, and our shoes, of course, were super muddy. So I cleaned them off. We rented out someone's condo, and it's just a bunch of different condos. So there is a public pool on one of the floors. I took my shoes and I put it outside on the balcony and I let them dry. And then I looked the next day and I'm like, okay, they're still there. That's fine. So we went to the beach and then we came back and I'm like, oh cool, they're still there. Great. We went in the pool and I looked the next day and they were gone. So yeah, I lost the shoes, but it was for my own stupidity because my lazy ass wouldn't just take them back up into the room when they were clearly dried. So what travel scams have you heard about?
Timeshares? I mean, I don't know, like... Like, let's be honest, timeshares to an extent are a scam because once you're actually in one, it takes forever to get out of one. Like, I don't really know any real travel scams, personally.
I've heard about a good amount of scams, but the biggest one, I think, that comes to mind is currency exchange with tourists and how some countries can raise the price if, you know, if you obviously look like a tourist or you don't know where you're going or you really don't even know. You're just like, okay, here's my money. Thank you. Have a great day. I feel like that would be probably the biggest scam.
What would you like to be famous for?
I don't think I'd ever want to be famous, to be honest, but I would like to make an impact on the world in a positive way, help out as much as I can, protect it at all costs, and just be as sustainable as possible and just treat the world with respect and positivity.
I don't know if I'd really want to be famous. I'd like to make money.
Yeah,
I mean, that's more for me is the money part of it. But I guess if there was any kind of famous, it would be for creating, whether it's, again, YouTube or creating a podcast, something like that.
If you won the lottery, what would you spend your money on?
The obvious one would be to travel, of course, but I guess the less obvious ones would be to invest it and to buy the better gear for, you know, camera gear or drone or whatever it is, or actually hire someone to come with us and take our video.
You took mine. That was a good one. Everything that he said pretty much is the same as my answer. Definitely invest, number one. And number two, help out my family a little bit. And number three, like you said, definitely up our gear with traveling. And hope maybe have somebody be around to help us with filming.
When you're trying to film your outro, but there's a birthday going on?
There's a birthday parade going on outside.
Nice.
This is great. So hey everyone, we decided to split up this video into 2 parts just because we didn't want it to be too long for you to watch. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Please comment, subscribe, like. If you guys have any questions that we didn't answer, please comment down below. We'd love to actually answer any other questions that you guys might have.
Yes, and I'm just here to point down below.
So if you don't know where it is, honey.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
And make sure to press the bell icon so you get notified when we post a new video. And as always, be safe, be well, be still. Namaste.
Namaste at home.
Hey, there you go.